Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with episode 9 of my Halloween horror movie review series, and this episode is going to be for... Okay, I'll recap this. Earlier around this year, I reviewed pretty much all of the Halloween movies, except for one of them, in order to prep for Halloween Kills, which is coming out next week. So, this episode, I decided to save this one closer to Halloween because it's more of a film to watch on Halloween season, despite being a Halloween movie. So, today's review is going to be for none other than the only Halloween movie to not have Michael Myers in it, and that, of course, is definitely Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So, while this was made, for example, in 1981, we had that sequel to Halloween 1978, or as I call it, epilogue to Halloween 1978, called Halloween 2. And it was originally going to be the end to Michael Myers, and Michael Myers was supposed to stay permanently dead after this movie, because John Carpenter or some filmmakers had the idea of an anthology series. They want to do several other concepts with this kind of franchise. Some different concepts that weren't just the same old slice and dice or just Michael Myers like with Jason or Leatherface now and Freddy later on. No. Michael Myers was originally just going to be a 2-chapter story. Or technically, that take place in just one film. Or one big 3-hour film story. So, eventually, that movie would prove to be Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, released literally just a year after Halloween 2. And when it was released, it was bashed by a lot of people. Apparently, they were mad that Michael Myers was not in it. Since it was called Halloween 3, they thought Michael would be in it. No. They hated that he did not appear in this movie, like, at all. And that was pretty much their only reason for criticism. And maybe they just thought the film was also a little cheesy and it failed at the box office. Pretty much putting the franchise on hiatus for about 6 years. Until 1988, when Michael Myers came back. And and we had that whole awful Thorn trilogy. So, with that being said, that's going to be Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is going to be today's episode. So, I'll explain what the movie is about. So, after the death of her father under very suspicious circumstances, Ellie Grambridge and Dr. Daniel Childs decide to investigate the shady activities of Conrad Connell Cochran, the owner of the Silver Shamrock Novelties Company. Before long, they discover Cochran's diabolical plot to brainwash the children of America into doing his bidding through a mixture of ancient rituals, technology, and witchcraft. This Halloween, wearing the mask of a skeleton, witch, or pumpkin can be deadly. Can Ellie and Daniel thwart the plans of the evil toy maker? Well, so, my thoughts on this movie? Well, finally watched it for the first time this week, and honestly, I think it's okay for what it is. I don't hate it. I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but it's not among my most hated like a lot of people make it out to be. Actually, some people actually do consider this one of their favorite movies in the franchise. But me personally, I think it's just an okay movie. I would put it in maybe, 6th place. But I would watch over some of the other bad sequels like 5, Curse, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and Halloween Resurrection specifically. Seriously. I don't understand why people criticize this movie just because Michael Myers is in it. So what? We would later go on to see just enough of him in parts 4 to 6. The Return of Michael Myers, The Revenge of Michael Myers, The Curse of Michael Myers. Give me a break. I mean, Halloween 4 was okay. 5 was just boring. And Curse was just awful. No, not awful. Bad. Those story arc movies would all turn out to be the same darn thing over and 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 over again. This film goes in a whole different direction, exploring the origins of Halloween and mysteries of Stonehenge. Halloween 3 is actually a really, really strange film. It's completely different than the first two and has a weird story with some big plot holes. The script builds up a tense atmosphere, leading to a truly compelling and that will keep viewers guessing long after. Yet, Season of the Witch, a title not to be taken too literally, comes across as an intriguing second half, full of good ideas, lacking the kind of logic and key expression that would have really brought the audience on board. Writer Tommy Lee Wallace's America, for example, just seems to occupy one single time zone, in which it's possible to have the nation's children watching their televisions at the appointed hour. Likewise, we are expected to believe that the illegal operation of one of the world's largest and heaviest artificial landmarks, the key plot point at the climax, seems to be no more difficult than stealing a mattress from a bedding store and spearing it away on a car's roof. College. Stitching up wounds one day and tackling the undead like Indiana Jones the next. The film's other two leads are also something of a puzzle, with their identities and ultimate fate never being satisfactorily explored, all of which leaves Halloween 3 as a series of entertaining sequences that anyone attempting the most basic of critical analysis will be punished instantly with crushing bafflement. And the lack of enthusiasm cannot be solely attributed to the absence of Michael Myers, who, actually, believe it or not, Michael Myers may not be in this movie, but he does appear on like TV screens for a few seconds and in like a TV spot for the first movie. So kind of in a way, Halloween 3 is universe. Halloween 1978 is kind of a movie that exists within a movie. And literally, and like when the main protagonist is captured, he's basically forced to watch the screen and actually shows a clip from the original from Halloween. So it kind of Halloween's just more of a film within a film in this movie. Like, nevertheless, it would have been. And honestly, as for the characters, well, they're just okay characters. They're not nearly as obnoxious as plenty of other Halloween characters in this franchise, or plenty of other slasher sequel characters. I mean, the guy that plays the toy maker, believe it or not, actually does play the old man. Would go on to play the old man in RoboCop, and I think he's actually a pretty decent performance for. This guy gives off a pretty decent performance here. Like, I just kind of enjoy, like, he comes off as a somewhat sweet dude, but he's actually this really evil, corrupt official that actually wants to make these masks that will kill the children. So it's actually a pretty interesting character. But nonetheless, guys, it would have been interesting if Halloween became an anthology series of horror, and with Halloween 3 not short on ideas, it's only a shame more care and attention wasn't put into the effort. Like, all involved clearly failed to understand what they had set in motion with the first two outings, unable to see that any change of direction for the franchise would have to be very well executed to win the fans over. However, it wasn't, and Michael Myers was going to make a respectable return 5 or 6 years later with Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And pretty much the rest of the whole franchise after that. For what it offers, I think Season of the Witch is definitely worth a look. If you want to see something a little more fresh that isn't just Michael Myers again and again and again, I'd give this movie a check out. It's not one of the best ones of the series, but I like that they tried to do something different with this movie, and liked how this movie actually tried to say, you know what, Michael died after Halloween 2, let's just move on to different ideas. Let's just try to do something else with these sequels. But no, instead fans had to get all butthurt over it and get all mad because Michael did not appear. And so yeah, we have to keep getting more Michael movies now. Thanks to the fans that couldn't accept change. Honestly, the Halloween fanbase is kind of like the Star Wars fanbase in kind of a way. Except the Star Wars fanbase kind of has reasons to hate some of the differenter stuff. But I'm not going to bash fan bases here. I mean, I just want to review films. Arguably more creative than like most of the Halloween sequels, but it's seriously lacking polish. So, yeah, in the end, I think this is just worth one watch, and that's kind of about it. Really, there's nothing really special about this movie. It's not terrible, but it's not really a masterpiece really either. I mean, it is still produced by John Carpenter, so that is nice, but in the end, give this movie one watch if you want to see something a little fresh within the Halloween franchise. And here's how I'm going to rank it.
I am going to give Halloween 3 Season of the Witch a 6 out of 10.
Alright, with that, that wraps up Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And, by the way, guys, until next week, we are now caught up on all the Halloween movies. We are done talking about Halloween films until Halloween Kills comes out next week. So, I hope Halloween Kills is good, in my opinion. I've heard some opinions about it, but I hope my opinion is different compared to what people are saying about it currently. Even despite all the damn spoilers it's been giving. But, yeah, other than that, we are finished and we are now all caught up with the Halloween movies. And until then, that will be it for this oh, wait. What's the next episode going to be? Well, the next episode, we are going into Alaska, where a whole month is nighttime. And during that nighttime, the town has a problem with vampires who speak their own language. Yeah, our next episode is going to be 30 Days of Night. One of the few best vampire movies out there. End of the 2000s. So we're going back into the 2000s, guys, with our final episode this week. But until then, that'll be it for this episode. Thank y'all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.